Hey guys, Greg here, Final Rundown. Today is May 13th. That is the birthday of Gil Evans, one of the greatest, most important conductors, arrangers, composers in jazz history. And you guys know him probably because of his association with Miles Davis. Let me just run through my collection of Gil Evans records and see what's what here. So when Impulse first came out in was it the 60s or the 50s? I should know that by now, right? Whenever Impulse first came out, 1961, this is one of the first 4 records they released as a set. This is catalog number 4, A4 on mono by Impulse, with Creed Taylor as producer. Gil Evans, Out of the Cool, and you probably know all about cool jazz. We'll get into more of that when we get into the Miles Davis portion of this. But Bill Evans was really an arranger, so it was important to him to show you what's going on with his arrangements. So look how he placed all the musicians around him and the microphones. So he's right here as the conductor, and then all the musicians are around here. So they're in like a semicircle. He can sort of hear them and interact with them, like Ron Carter on bass, Elvin Jones on drums. Other people I don't know that well. What tunes are on here? I don't know. Stratus Funk by George Russell. George Russell, one of the innovators in what's called modal jazz. And Miles Davis collaborated with him before they got into the Kind of Blue. So Gil Evans wasn't really part of the Kind of Blue album, but he was really very involved with Miles during that period. So let's get into that, going back a while. Some of the stuff I have on CDs, guys, not LP. I have a LP of this, but this is a better version. This is the Capitol Records Birth of the Cool. So Birth of the Cool, seminal, important album, really a Miles Davis album, but arranged, and really has a Gil Evans sound to it. This was actually originally recorded for 78 RPM release. I guess that was 48, 49. We're talking a long time ago. And then they released it as a record in the 50s. I don't know when, 55, something like that. So why was there a Birth of the Cool? Well, Miles was basically breaking away from bebop, hot jazz. He wanted to take a downturn in, intensity and just chill out, and he invented this thing called cool jazz. So he had the Miles Davis Nonet, 9 players, and all these arrangements that they did with Gil Evans. And this is it, guys, the birth of the cool. So after these guys made these records in New York, they all went out to LA and became West Coast jazz, which is cool jazz, and Miles stayed in New York. So the cool jazz movement moved away from him, with or without his permission. So during that period, like 58, 59, 60, some of the classic Miles Davis records with Gil Evans, Porgy and Bess, George Gershwin opera that was orchestrated by Gil. Sketches of Spain. I can't believe I don't have this on LP. Sketches of Spain, which is a Spanish classical guitar piece called Concerto de Aranjuez by Joaquin Rodrigo, that Miles Miles and Gil Evans reorchestrated. Very mellow, chill record. And what else? I gave you Sketches of Spain. Oh, some of them I do have on LP, so let's change gears. LP. Quiet Nights, Gil Evans. Let's see. Arranged by Gil Evans, but produced by Teo Macero. Corcovado. So there's some what's the word I'm looking for? Brazilian type stuff on here. Corcovado. Victor Feldman, Ron Carter, George Coleman. Yeah, it's another mellow, chill kind of album. Miles Davis plus 19 miles ahead. Gil Evans. What did I spend, guys? 49 cents. Good luck getting a classic Miles Davis album for 49 cents. What do we got? We got Six Eye Columbia. What tunes are on here? Brubeck, a Brubeck tune, really? Dave Brubeck, The Duke. Gershwin tune, Miles Ahead by Miles. Blues for Pablo by Gil Evans. I don't know this record that well. This, only 49 cents. It's a little bit chewed up. It's not in great shape, but okay. We'll deal with all that later. And then I got a couple other more Gil Evans records that aren't Miles records. Okay. So how about one on Pacific Jazz Records? That is a true West Coast cool jazz label from the, I guess, 50s, maybe 60s. Gil Evans, Cannonball Adderley. They do Round Midnight, Lester Leaps In, Manteca, Willow Tree, Cannonball Adderley. Who else plays on here? I can't tell. $3 at the Record Outlet. Record Outlet. That's the place that Tone Scott mentioned yesterday. Record Outlet in Thousand Oaks. Alright, couple more Gil Evans things, guys. So, come to the 1970s, like big band music, is that like completely passé and out of date? Gil's wife actually suggested she listen to a new guitar player that might perk up his ears a little bit, get him interested. He was a little depressed with the state of the commercialism of some of the record companies and the lack of interest in jazz. And this is a great lead up to a record that I don't even have, which is Gil Evans doing the music of Jimi Hendrix. But this is kind of a psychedelic-y, trippy album. A lot of synthesizers, wah-wah pedals, and electric piano. Who's on here? Dave Sanborn does an amazing guitar solo I'll tell you about. Tony Williams on drums. Okay, that's some serious stuff. So, $3.95, another bargain. I pulled this out. Let's check out the picture of Gil. It's a good picture of him chilling out, trying to look kind of hip with his blue jeans on and his sideburns in the 70s. But look how trippy and psychedelic the album cover is. Can't even tell what that is. It's blurry. There's a version of Little Wing by Hendrix on here that is freaking cool. I love this. The tune starts out, the melody on fretless bass, and then the alto solo by David Sanborn is a trip. Maybe I'll play it for you. What else? Guitar solo by Ryo Kawasaki. I don't really know who that is. And there's a little bit of singing on here, but so he made this record, Gil Evans doing the music of Jimi Hendrix, and came out with 6 songs on it, the original LP release. Little Wing is not on there, and that's Hendrix's most jazzy song. I don't know why it's not on there. Maybe it didn't fit. They put it on the CD release, but they didn't put it on the LP release. I saw the LP at the store I was at the other day for $40. Be a nice re-release, be a nice record store day re-release or whatever. Love to see that come out on vinyl again. If you can squeeze Little Wing on there. Maybe there's some other outtakes and you can put it on 2 discs. I don't know. But if you're not going to put Little Wing on there, then I'll just stick with what I got here. So, Gil Evans, what else? One more. Okay, late in his career, he did a collaboration with Lee Konitz. Is it Konitz or Konitz? So Lee Konitz, one of the prime sax players of the cool West Coast sound. And I think he was in the original Birth of the Cool band. This is just the 2 of them. This is Gil on piano and Lee on saxophone. Very sparse. Gil is not like a wild piano player. He's a very, sparse. He's an arranger, not a piano whiz. So just very sparse. A lot of space, a lot of pauses. Space for Lee to work out his sax playing. There's some cool tunes on here. This record did not get good reviews when it came out. It has kind of a dark sound, and these guys are both at the tail end of their career. I like it though. It's very mellow, thoughtful, introspective. What songs are on here? This is kind of a 2-record set. This is called Heroes. There's another one to go with it called Anti-Heroes. and they both came out like a year apart. I don't know where I put that disc. I got it around here somewhere. I got this when I worked for Polygram in the 90s. I worked for Philips/Polygram all throughout the 90s, and I used to buy tons of CDs at the employee price, which was like 70% off. They actually put a limit on how many you could buy. But all the stuff on Verve, all the stuff on ECM, you're going to hear me talking about that over and over again, because there's a period where I bought a boatload of CDs and then went back to LPs. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I may or may not get to play this track, so you'll hear it right now or you won't hear it. Thanks for watching. Happy birthday, Gil Evans, May 13th. And subscribe. Talk to you later, guys. David Sanborn on saxophone, guys.